Hi guys, welcome back to another video. So this is actually a continuation to the series of the direct and indirect speech, and this is the part 4 of this video series. Now, I believe that there was something which was left a little bit confusion. So I'm here to, let's say, mitigate that confusion. And I believe that it really needed another video where I can explain certain different situations when it comes to direct and indirect speech. Now, for instance, we have 3 different situations over here in which we will be focusing that how the time and the place of a particular thing which has been said in a direct sentence in a direct speech will definitely change in the indirect speech. Now, speaking about that, we have our first example over here. So when there's a shift in the tense or a time reference, when there's a shift in the tense or a time reference. Now, once I'm going to read through the definition and once we're going to go through the example, then you'll understand that what actually I'm talking about over here. So for the reference, I'm going to zoom it a little bit. Okay, perfect, relative to the screen size. Okay, so if the reported speech is about a future event. Now, if the reported speech is about a future event, now try to focus, okay? Event, but the reporting verb is in the past tense. The reported verb is in the past tense. The adverbial phrase indicating the time may need to be adjusted to reflect the shift in the timing. For example, now it might sound a little bit, different, but let me just clear you out. Say it's saying that if the reported speech is about a future event, right? So the reporting verb in the past tense, but the reporting verb is in the past tense. Now, what was the reporting word? That said Sarah, confidently said. I would say, I wouldn't call them the speech marks, but I would say that the verb, like, when it was said, when it was done, or how it was done, how it took place, or who said it, all of these kind of examples, which we actually covered in our previous videos, right? So, sorry for this. Okay, so now take a look into this example. Direct speech. It says over here, quote unquote, we will finish the project by tomorrow. Now, this is something said by one person that we will finish the project by tomorrow. He said yesterday. Now, here's the trick. Now, for example, if somebody's saying to somebody that, and they want to quote that exact same person exactly the way they did, but about a future event, but said yesterday, as the verb is used in the yesterday. The reported verb is used here in the past tense, right? So check this out. We will finish the project by tomorrow. We will finish the project by tomorrow. We're talking about the future ones, right? But he said it yesterday. So this statement, So this particular statement was said by somebody yesterday, and that we are understanding by actually, looking into this reported verb, right? But now if I'm going to change it into the indirect speech, so it won't look like tomorrow. The tomorrow is going to be replaced. And what is going to be replaced by? Let's read it out. He said they would finish. He said they would finish now. So the pronoun is changing, we to they, and will is changing to would. Finish the project by, not tomorrow, by the next day. Because here it is contradicting with the word yesterday. Right. So, to make the things a little bit more clear to you people, it is as simple as we will finish the project by tomorrow. He said yesterday. But now since there's a shift in the tense, there's a shift in the time referencing over here, time referencing. So that's why I'm going to use in the indirect speech that they said they would finish the project by the next day. Why is it so? Because here's the example. In this case, the tomorrow changes to the next day, maintaining the correct temporal relationship, right? Because you see, that's something that, already happened before, okay? That's something that already happened before. It's not happening at that particular moment. So we need to keep that particular time reference in the mind. So this is something that I believe that you need to keep in your mind when it comes to your exams or your tests or quizzes, right? Okay, now here's another example that we are having here. When there is a change in the reported speech relative to the time. Now, do not get confused with the word relative. It means compared to, or it's comparing, pertinent to that, or analogous to that, right? So when there is a change in the reported speech relative to the time of reporting. Now, let's read out the definition and you will understand much better when I'm going to go through the example. So it says over here that if the reported speech refers to the future event, okay, from the perspective, okay, it's a little bit different here. Okay, it's the same report for the future event. The perspective of the reported speech, sorry, let me just repeat it once again. If the reported speech refers to a future event from the perspective of the future speech. Now, I'm talking about the reported speech, right? The indirect sentence. But becomes the past relative to the time of reporting, but becomes the past relative to the time of reporting. Now, this sentence means that the event has already passed. The event has already happened, right? Now it's being reported in the future to somebody, XYZ. We're going to read that example. The adverbial phrase may change accordingly. The adverbial phrase changed accordingly. If you remember, we studied the different types of phrases, and adverbial phrase was also the part of the sentence where actually we see that how the action is taking place, or who, what, all the WH elements over there. So see, direct speech. We will finish the project by tomorrow. We will finish the project by tomorrow. Right. Again, exactly the same example being used over here. He said on Monday. He said on Monday. He said yesterday. Kind of the same situation over here. Indirect speech. He said they would finish the project by the following day. By the following day. The next day, because it was said yesterday, it's very specific. Because it was said yesterday, the next day. But it was say on Monday and then the following day. Now, in this situation over here, it was very specific that it was said yesterday. For example, it's Monday today, and I am reporting this to somebody maybe on Tuesday or maybe on Wednesday, right? But let's say if I said the word yesterday, so it's very obvious that I'm talking about the next day, because here it's using tomorrow. That person said something that they will do tomorrow, right? Tomorrow, immediately tomorrow. Tomorrow, immediately tomorrow. So when I'm going to tell somebody that, all right, you know what, they told me that they're going to do this thing tomorrow. Now, if I'm going to say this to somebody, the other people are going to say tomorrow. What do you mean tomorrow? Tomorrow, like, as if like Tuesday, Wednesday, because the thing was said on Monday, right? So I have to be specific. I will say the next day. They said that they will do tomorrow means they said that they will do it next day. You say tomorrow or you say next day. It's the same thing. So I hope that this example, the second one example, cleared the first idea as well over here. Let's talk about this next one. Let's come back to this that where we were doing before. So in the direct speech, it says that we will finish the project by tomorrow. Again, the same statement. Now I'm giving a specific day over here. Before I was giving what? Before I was giving yesterday. Before I just said yesterday, ambiguity, right? No any particular day. Now here I'm using a particular day. So it's not much different over here. A particular day, Monday. Now if I'm going to report this to somebody, if I'm going to tell this to somebody as an indirect sentence, as an extra information, so what I'm going to say that he said, or let's say they said, they said we would, he said they would finish the project by the following day. Again, the same example, by the following day, right? So here the tomorrow changes, because to the following day, because the event has already passed the time of reporting. Of course, the event has already passed at the time of reporting. This is the time of reporting and the event has already taken place. It has already taken place. Right. Now, coming to the third example over here. When there is a need for clarity or specificity. Now, where there is need for clarity and specificity. Well, this is much easier than the previous both of them. So sometimes for clarity or specificity, adverbial phrases may be modified in indirect speech, even if there is no change in the time relative to the reported speech. For instance, now here, the time is not changing. The time is not changing. But yet for clarification, we will definitely add a timing clause or a timing phrase to actually, bring more specificity, to make it more specific, or to bring more specificity in our sentence, to be more accurate, to be more pinpointed for that particular event, that it should actually not make the other party confused when we're reporting it to somebody. For example, check this out. Indirect speech. Okay, so direct speech, let me read it again. We will finish the project by tomorrow. Very simple. We will finish the project by tomorrow. Okay, again, the same example is coming. He said confidently. He said confidently. No timing is, required over here. It's talking about the emotions, or it's talking about the person's nature at that moment. Usually emotions, we can use the emotion word over here. So we will finish the project by tomorrow. He said confidently. Now in the reported verb over here, there is no time mentioned, like the following day, next day, Monday, Tuesday, next month, year, XYZ. No, nothing is mentioned over here. But yet I'm going to use in indirect speech when I'm reporting it to somebody else, because I want clarity. I want specificity over here. But again, this is an optional thing. This is definitely an optional thing. So indirect speech will say, he confidently stated that they would finish the project by the following day. about the following day. So here the tomorrow is changed to the following day for added clarity and specificity, although the timing remains the same. Of course, the timing remains the same, that whatever the timing was mentioned there before. Well, in this case, of course, it wasn't mentioned here, but it was just mentioned in the original dialogue of the person who said. So guys, with that, let's end this video. And if you definitely want to take a screenshot of this, so please, you may. And thank you so much for watching this series. And this is a formal, full stop to the direct and indirect shenanigans. So yes, I'll see you in the next video. Thank you so much for watching. And inshallah, our next video is going to be about punctuation marks. And stay tuned. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, and share it with your friends. Thank you so much. See you in the next one. Peace.